Hello, I'm Toby Hadoke. I am usually referred to as the Master Chef. Well, I will be once this is done. You may know me best from such DVD and Blu-ray documentaries as Why is he having breakfast with them? Why doesn't he just ask them about Doctor Who, for goodness sake? And, oh, I'm feeling quite sad about that person I'm not sure I'd actually heard of. Well, unfortunately, there's nothing like that I can offer you now, but I can offer you a sequel to perhaps the best loved, not really, documentary on the entire range of Doctor Who, the Doctor Who Cookbook. And what better way than to honour that work of, frankly, art than presenting you what I present you now to enjoy while you're in lockdown and quarantine. I am going to give to you now that recipe from that scene in episode 3 of The Enemy of the World, revisited.
Z-list Doctor Who bore Toby Hadoke wants to make yet another documentary. His partner, Cherylee Houston, will help because she's no choice because she's locked in with him. Bernard the dog will probably get in the way.
It's cooking.
In a kitchen.
With food.
And utensils.
And recipes and stuff.
In quarantine.
Cooking a recipe mentioned once in a jokey scene in an episode of Doctor Who made over 50 years ago doesn't get tougher than this.
Why are we shouting?
I don't know.
What is this?
Kaiser Pudding. Don't you know what anything?
Why do you know Kaiser Pudding has been in Doctor Who?
Well, it's because you haven't watched enough Doctor Who. Right.
I have watched loads
You're
of
doing
Doctor
You're
Who.
doing the watch-along of Enemy of the World tomorrow. There is one.
There's not.
There is. And 10 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to watch it.
While dragging me into it. I've watched a lot of Doctor Who. We've all watched a lot of Doctor Who.
She hasn't. She wouldn't know Bender Lips Warhead if she tripped over one. And today, Victoria Waterfield is going to be played by my glamorous assistant. So, pray tell, glamorous assistant, what is the recipe for Kaiser Pudding according to TV's Doctor Who?
Lots of almonds.
Check.
Eggs.
Check. In the chicken? Yes. Yes.
Lemon peel.
Check.
Candied peel.
What?
Candied peel.
What?
Candied peel.
Off. We're in quarantine. What do you want next? Unicorn tits. Forget the candied peel.
Oranges.
Yes. Unfortunately, in these times of trouble, I've only got some that have been affected by the master. You didn't know I could do that, did you?
Cream.
Yep, in the fridge. So, how do we make it?
Well, you just, quite simply, you just whoosh it all up.
What?
You just whoosh it all up together.
What could possibly go wrong?
You do the dog instead.
It turns out quite a lot could go wrong. Back to the drawing board. Because the recipe for Kaiser Pudding in Doctor Who, The Enemy of the World, episode 3, is actually not the real recipe for Kaiser Pudding, and because when I tried that it was a bit of a disaster. So I was going to get you to cosplay as Victoria, by the way, but you haven't, so sorry. Sorry.
I didn't get that memo.
No, so instead she's cosplaying as Dortmund from the Dalek Invasion of Earth. You don't get that joke. So, you're going to tell me how to make the actual Kaiser Pudding, but we're going to adapt it so it's actual Kaiser pudding slash Enemy of the World Kaiser Pudding combo.
Right.
So it's still canon. Yeah?
Yes.
In fact, this whole thing is to establish that there have been lots of different Kaiser Puddings in the past that all count. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. She didn't get that either. Right. Right. Come on then. What's the recipe?
Shez.
What? All right then, Shez. What's the recipe?
For the pancake, Toby.
Yeah, it's very hygienic having a dog in the kitchen, isn't it?
Well, he's not near anything.
Yeah. All right.
We're not touching.
For the Kaiser Pudding. Kaiser Pudding. I can't say Kaiser Pudding. What do we need?
We need 3 large eggs, divided.
I've divided the eggs already and done that bit through the medium of montage.
Um, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted.
So I have to melt the butter? I'm melting the butter, is that right? 3
Yes.
tablespoons of butter.
3 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
A teaspoon of vanilla extract, yes. So we go in here and get, you never find the one you want. So that's a quarter of a teaspoon, so we're going to have 4 of those. Because you never find the one that you want. Where am I putting that? The teaspoon. Do I need, I probably haven't got enough bowls, have I?
No.
Hang on. They're probably switched off by now anyway. Right, so what am I doing?
Combine
Yeah.
the 3 egg yolks, the melted butter, the vanilla extract, the sugar.
The 3 egg yolks.
Three
Hang
egg
on, you're
yolk.
very quick. God. You're very fast. Your
Add
3
the 3
egg yolks. Yeah.
Now add the melted butter.
What? Should it have cooled down the melted butter, do you think? Do you think we have to cool it down in real time?
If you cool it down, then it won't be melted.
Oh yeah. It's going to cook the egg yolk.
Maybe put the sugar in for. I
Put the egg.
put the sugar in next.
Okay, the sugar.
Sugar.
Well, we've had to. How much sugar?
How much sugar is it? It is 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. But unfortunately, because Cherylee is a special flower, she cannot have normal sugar. So we have coconut sugar. And because we're in quarantine, and you know, we're only getting to go to the local co-op, which is for some reason out of coconut sugar. Who'd have thunk it? Oh, the humanity. I'm using a little bit of maple syrup to add for the sweetness. So if it all goes wrong, it's because of
My food problem.
yeah, special sausage here. So yes, okay. What next?
Vanilla extract, pinch of salt. Yeah, I'd mix all that up first
And then add the butter. I mean, we're already veering off recipe, which I'm not happy about at all. I mean, if you weren't here, I'd be doing this properly.
Yeah, and your eggs would be cooked.
1,
I
2.
think that's a lot.
Do you think that's a lot of vanilla extract?
An awful lot of vanilla extract. Well, if at the end we say this is vanilla-y,
Yeah,
use less.
yeah. Pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt.
Oh, you know why that is, don't you?
Just got it in the dog's
You
hand.
know why that is? I know why you do
For
that.
look.
Well, it's to stop the devil coming. It's because actually the fendal is that inspired the devil is thwarted by salt. That's where that comes from. That's a fact.
Did they do that in Doctor Who?
No. Now then, Cherylee, I don't know what you think, but because we're trying to make this a sort of Doctor Who-y version, I think we should have a bit of lemon peel within the batter mix, which will give the butter a little time to cool down, but it will also make it more like Victoria Waterfield's Kaiser Pudding.
I think that's a brilliant idea, Toby.
So what you do to peel lemon is you peel the lemon. There's a chef's tip there. So we're going to put a bit of lemon peel in there. So we're going to try and make this as Victoria Waterfield as possible, but without the candied peel, because it's the year 2020.
And we haven't got any in.
That makes it sound like we've always got coming. Oh yeah, we're just out of candied peel, sadly.
I quite fancy some candied peel now.
We could make it, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But not for the. I think we've already done. I think we've already done enough for this, frankly. Paul and Dexter. It's from Paul and Dexter. I wouldn't do this for the BBC. That should really. I think I should really have grated it. I should probably have grated it, shouldn't I?
Well, it's in there now. That's okay. No, it's thin enough, darling. That looks okay.
I'm a bit sad now. That would have been much more sensible to do. I was too concentrating on trying to be la-di-da. Anyway, there we go. Right, butter?
Yes. Oh, shall I stir?
Yeah.
Just so we don't cook our eggs.
Oh, what?
good. That's zest. That's smell good.
Like big fat chunks of zest.
It looks nice. Okay.
Right, what now? So, okay, now what? Now I've ruined it.
Right, okay, stop. Because if you spend the whole of this DVD with your head talking shit about how terrible you are.
I wish it was a DVD.
Okay, if you spend the whole of this thing putting yourself down, it's not going to work.
Okay.
Okay, let it go. It's gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, go back to stirring.
Now what we do? Now what we doing, Cherylee from
Well,
Cherylee Houston?
on a low speed.
Yeah.
Oh no, it said you should whisk that.
Oh, well, it's not too late. You can. That was a pre-whisking.
Yeah, that was a stir before
Yeah,
the whisk.
yeah, that's allowed. I didn't know I was going to have to be doing any live whisking. What's that for?
To put the dirty spoon on wherever you put it.
So I'm whisking this. Is this right?
On a low speed. Oh, that said medium. Then on a low speed.
Oh! I've just realised you can adjust the speed on this. We've only had it for 4 years. Yeah. The things you learn in quarantine. Yeah.
Now on low speed.
Oh.
I don't see where the egg. Oh, that's.
Yeah.
That's
What
nice.
about the flour?
Well, that's what on the low speeds. Alternatively, add flour and milk, a tablespoon of each time, until you've used up the milk and the flour. Have you got it?
Alternatively.
Yeah.
Alternatively to what?
Alternatively, between the flour and the milk.
What?
Shall I read it again?
Oh, right. Alternatively means instead of.
Oh.
Alternately means that you do one after you do one and then the other. I was going.
The word
What? So we
police.
can
The
either.
word police come to our house.
No,
sometimes
the
more than Dr.
word
Who
police.
does.
The word police, so that we actually use the words that mean what they mean, so that we can communicate with each other. Right. Flour and milk.
I found you half a tablespoon at the moment. I'm going to
Thanks.
find you the other half a tablespoon.
But how much flour and milk do I need in full?
Oh, in full?
So what does it say on the recipe?
1 cup of all-purpose flour.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, as well as needing to have coconut sugar, we have to have gluten-free flour for the Princess and the Pea here. So it's not
can you just point
all-purpose.
out that
The
this
only
is not
purpose
the-
of this flour is to make bread taste less nice than it should. Yes?
Can we just point out that it's not... It's actually about pain levels and things. It's not faddy. Because you're making it sound like it's faddy and it's not.
It's a
Makes it
sad
quite
thing.
poorly.
It's a sad thing for disabled people. Is that all right?
That'll do.
Right,
That'll
there
do.
you go. See, you're learning. This isn't just frippery, you see. There's an educational aspect to this.
Yeah, inflammatory diseases, sugar and gluten.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 2 half tablespoons.
Right.
That's going to be a right old
What do we do? What am I doing?
alternative.
Yes, I'm
Alternatively.
alternating. Yeah. How much milk am I supposed to have?
1 cup of milk.
Oh, so I'm gonna have to put that in here. Okay.
There you go.
This I expected this to be about a 2-minute video. This is taking forever. So I'm right.
1 spoon of flour, add, whisk. 1 spoon of milk, add, whisk. 1 spoon of flour, add, whisk.
Really?
Well, that's
It's
what
gonna take forever.
on a low speed, alternately,
Yeah.
add flour and milk, a tablespoon of each at a time,
Okay.
until you've used up all the milk and flour. Do not overmix. You might need a bigger deep side bowl.
Gonna need a bigger bowl. This is good. I hate you, Paul and Dexter. We're gonna need a bigger bowl.
Yeah, don't whisk in a low-sided bowl because it could go wrong.
Do you know what that's a reference to? We're gonna need a bigger bowl. They
No.
don't say bowl in the original. You know what that's? Have you ever watched any programmes?
Continual disappointment to it.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. Imagine, think of a film where they might say we're going to need a bigger boat.
Have I done it?
Oh, that was what they. That was the first thought when they hit the iceberg. They went, "Oh, I wish this boat was bigger." Jesus Christ! It's any wonder I spend my time tracking down somebody who was in Doctor Who for 5 seconds. The 18? It's enough. Was that on purpose? That would have been quite a sophisticated joke if it was.
It was on purpose.
Because you know before
Because they make stuff, don't they?
Oh, no, it's because before your lot were on telly opposite Doctor Who in the 80s and effectively destroyed Doctor Who. Thanks for that. Never forgiven her. It was the 18 was on opposite Doctor Who and also caused me great sadness.
Because you couldn't watch the 18 at the same time?
No, because everyone at school watched the 18 and not Doctor Who and they thought I was an idiot because I watched Doctor Who. Huh? What? Somebody who...
No, it wasn't belittling that.
Right.
It wasn't that. It was more the fact that...
Mrs. Titanic.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but it was funny by accident.
What the almonds for?
Well, because we still have to try and remain canonical to episode 3 of The Enemy of the World, there's almonds in Victoria's recipe. I was going to use almond flour, but I didn't, because this wasn't supposed to take all day, and I couldn't find any almond flour, and I wasn't going to... But almonds are nice, but to have almonds in a recipe like this, I think you need to... Because I can actually cook, by the way. I'm going to toast the almonds. But you have to be careful toasting almonds because they spend ages looking a lighter shade of pale, and then just when you look away and decide to do... That's how good a cook I am. Just as you look away to do something else, they then turn black. Okay. What now, while I'm toasting the almonds that isn't part of the recipe?
Using a metal spoon or a flat spatula, folding the stiff egg whites into combined and no big egg white lumps remain.
Okay. Okay. We did have a rubber spatula. Here it is. Here it is. We've got a rubber spatula. Is that melted? Oh. It's been an accident. Okay. Oh. You can't say that. If I said that, I'd be in such trouble.
No, well, I can. It's one of those things I can say you can't.
There's no baking powder in this, so anything that's going to make this batter light, and I suspect that like it won't be, is going to be the air from the egg whites.
We're very good luck, Toby.
Do we? Okay. You're a bit more positive than that, aren't you?
A bit.
Look how you ended up.
I'm still positive about it.
Right.
Oh, I can see lumps of egg white myself.
I know, I'm just worried about doing it.
Heat one butter in a skillet over a medium heat, pour the batter in the skillet and cook for about 6 to 7 minutes. After 3 minutes, sprinkle the drained raisins over the batter.
Hang on. What are these raisins of which you speak?
The raisins in the recipe?
Yeah, tell me about them.
Well, it says that they're soaked in a third a cup of raisins and rum.
Right, well, as we know, I don't drink alcohol, so we've got ginger beer and orange juice instead.
They sound lovely.
Raisin soaked in orange juice in any dessert is actually a really nice addition.
Which ginger beer?
The one that Charlotte wanted.
Yeah, I can't. Just make sure I don't get those. That's all right.
Oh, brother.
No, you're all right.
Oh, because it's got sugar in it.
Yeah.
We'll just use
I could have normal raisins.
normal raisins.
My bit.
Oh, it's a minefield. Right. We'll just use sometimes.
I put some butter,
Yeah.
a tablespoon of butter in the pan.
Teaspoon of butter. I'm just going to do some butter. And we haven't got a skillet.
That's probably about a 12-inch pan, isn't it?
Is it? I've got no idea.
Pour the batter into the skillet and cook for 6 to 7 minutes. After 3 minutes, sprinkle...
67 minutes?
6 to 7.
Oh.
6 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
After 3 minutes, sprinkle the drained raisins over the batter. Use a spoon to peek under the pancake to see if it's golden brown underneath.
So hang on, it's saying cook for 6 to 7 minutes, but after 3 minutes, do this.
Put the raisins in.
Well, that, I mean, it should say cook for 3 minutes, then put the raisins. Shouldn't say cook, because you could have stopped then. Could have gone, right, we cooked for 6 or 7 minutes, and then we'd have looked again, and it said, by the way, at 3 minutes, you should have done this. Bad recipe.
I love neurodiversity.
Oh. God, it's all bloody diversity. Right. Okay.
So, cook for 3 minutes, add your raisins.
Right, thank you. Cook for 3 minutes. Now what I've done is, my love, because I've forgotten that ginger beer had sugar in it, I'm going to give you some sultanas because they will be juicier than raisins, so they will be like soaked raisins.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Shall I sprinkle? Shall I put a bit of satsuma juice on them? I think I might.
Well, you've got 3 minutes.
I've got 3 minutes. I'm going to do something that neither Victoria nor the recipe says. I'm going to put a bit of cinnamon on because I did look at various different recipes. So I'm going to do cinnamon with maple syrup because we can't use sugar and we've run out of coconut sugar. We're really suffering here in Chorlton. I mean, there's the hummus mountain has been depleted. And the raisins. That's what we wanted, wasn't it? And the almonds. I'm going to do the almonds as well.
You now peek under that, see if it's brown. If it is brown, chop it into quarters and then turn each quarter.
Right. That probably needs a little bit more. But I might sprinkle the almonds in now so that they add a bit of flavour to the doodah. Now I think there were almonds in some of the alternate recipes that I read. So it's not an exact science, although none of them are a whoosh up of eggs, candied peel, lemon peel, oranges. Although that does sound quite nice. It sounds a bit more like a sort of meringue pavlova type of thing, doesn't it?
At the sound of this, we have 7 minutes though before I need my iPad back from my meeting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
She's terribly important. Right, so I'm supposed to cut it into quarters.
Cut it into quarters.
I'm supposed to put these on now, am I?
Yeah, those are your orange ones, not the
Yeah,
sugar
these are the
ones.
orange ones. I might save the orange juice. Yeah, apparently the rum-soaked raisins are the most important part of the recipe, so sorry about that.
Now it says cook until the quarters are golden brown.
Yeah.
Use 2 spatulas and fork and tear the pancakes into bite-sized pieces. That's a lot of butter in this. Add 2 tablespoons of butter and sprinkle 2 tablespoons of sugar over the pancake pieces. Turn up the heat to medium-high and gently toss the pieces with a spatula for 3 to 4 minutes until the sugar is caramelised.
Right, okay. Ah, right. Oh, look at that, brown underneath. So I'm going to cut it to 4. And we're going to turn it over. So can you see it's nicely brown? Bernard, that's going to be hot, son. So at this juncture, now that we've turned it over, we should be sprinkling it with sugar. I even use brown sugar. And caramelising it so that it's a sort of unctuous kind of thing. But we haven't got any coconut sugar left because we're living in apocalyptic times. So I'm going to use maple syrup.
Using 2 spatulas or forks, tear the pancake into bite-sized pieces.
Right, I'll use whatever implements I like.
And then add 2 tablespoons of
butter.
There's more butter.
Yeah.
He's using all of our apocalyptic butter.
Yeah.
In one go.
Yeah. So, do we tear and then butter or butter?
Tear and then butter.
Right.
Tear the pancake into bite-sized pieces, add 2 tablespoons, just add some butter, and sprinkle 2 tablespoons of sugar over the pancake pieces. Turn the heat up to medium-high and gently toss the pieces with a spatula for about 3 to 4 minutes until the sugar is caramelised.
Do you know what I would do?
What?
I would take a little trick out of Victoria's book.
Can you...
Because, of course, we are trying to maintain the Doctor Who essence of our Kaiser pudding. So, what I would do, just to add a little bit of sharpness, because I think the maple syrup's made it a bit sweet, add a little bit of sharpness. Let's sprinkle a bit of that on, and I would just do a little bit of lemon juice.
Don't point out the third bowl's for Mo, not the dog.
Oh yes, yes. The third bowl is for our friend Mo, who is staying with us. Okay, how is this then? How's our Kaiser pudding?
Oh, that's really good.
Isn't it? It's like a sort of sponge. Sponge pudding. I think it needs the almonds.
Oh, that's delicious.
I think it needs the almonds. And imagine the raisins got rum in.
I'm quite happy with that, the rum.
Yeah, you just say that's made me feel better.
So a reminder of the recipe: 1/3 cup of raisins soaked in rum, or if you're really adventurous, ginger beer and orange juice, or if you then realise you can't have ginger beer, just orange juice. For the pancake, 3 large eggs divided, whites in one, yolks in the other, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or 4 1/4 teaspoons, but that's Bernard's translating into dog for any of our canine viewers, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, a cup of all-purpose flour, or gluten-free, you know, that's what we did, 1 cup of milk. You can even get milk from nuts now, that's what we used. We used almond milk, and their udders are tiny. And then to caramelise, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, if there's any butter left in the world after you've made this, and 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. We used maple syrup. But we also used lemon peel, and we used almonds, and the almonds actually gave it a bit of bite and texture and a bit of, and then they were slightly roasted off beforehand. And I think without the almonds and the lemon, 1, they're not Victoria's recipe, and 2, I don't think it's quite as good. So use almonds, could even use almond flour, and lemon juice and lemon zest. Boom.
So, Mo, our official food taster, what do you think of this?
It looks nice.
Does it?
It does.
Really?
To me. Yeah.
I think it looks like a yak's just been sick in a bowl.
I think it looks nice and moist and like bake wise, not presentation wise.
No.
But other than that, it looks great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was right. It is moist.
It is moist?
Yeah. Oh.
That's a good treat pudding when you haven't got much bits in.
And you can't have any.
Well, that's the end of that, plague carriers. Yeah, that's what that was, by the way. It's not a cravat. Now listen, that was Kaiser pudding. I hope that was all right for you. You could say I'm a Kaiser chef now. I predict a riot when you hear that joke. Anyway, look, I hope that was adequate for replacement for the sort of DVD extras I'd otherwise be making were the country not in lockdown. You know, some of my, buddy movies where I stay for a weekend with a big mover and shaker from Doctor Who. Oh, the plans we have. There's currently one we're working on called A Restraining Order from RTD, and the sequel, Stalking Stephen Moffat. But, I cover the really important stuff too, so do look out for Eric Pringle's favourite hats. That's going to be extremely popular. And then, of course, there'll be Pining for Pinfield, where I just sit in a corner and cry about Mervyn Pinfield for an hour. So, look, those are to look forward to if we do ever emerge from this ague, which I'm sure we will. And while we haven't, I hope the Doctor Who community can stick together and do all sorts of wonderful things. And thanks to Paul and Dexter for asking me to be involved in this and to provide a short video for them that's slightly got out of hand, which I can only apologise. Stay well, everybody. Stay safe. See you soon. Ta-ta.